Now, in operational amplifier, we can discuss the parameter of op-amp. What is the first parameter? First parameter of op-amp. Hello. Okay, so I have right here the topic. First parameter, which is known as offset voltage. Offset voltage. Second parameter, offset current. Third parameter, voltage gain. Fourth parameter, PSRR, power supply rejection ratio. Fifth parameter, slew rate. Sixth parameter, CMRR. CMRR means what? Common mode rejection ratio. So these are the different parameter. These are the different parameter of op-amp, and one of the most important, which is known as input resistance, and eighth parameter, which is known as output resistance, and ninth parameter, which is again most important, which is known as equivalent circuit. Equivalent circuit of op-amp. So we can discuss this entire parameter that can be related to operational amplifier. That can be related to operational amplifier that we have discussed. Now, equivalent circuit, op-amp equivalent circuit. What is the meaning of equivalent circuit? It can be represented with the help of resistance and voltage gain and output resistance. So, what is the meaning of input resistance? Ri or Rin, which is equal to V in divided by I. What is the meaning of output resistance? Which is equal to Ro, which is equal to Ro. Now, what is the meaning of voltage gain? AV equal to V out divided by V in. V out divided by V in. So here we can say that AC input that can be applied here. Here negative, here positive, plus VCC minus VEE. Here it is known as Ri, means what? Input resistance. Equivalent circuit, input resistance. And here it can be represented with output resistance and RO. And here it can be considered as a RL. RO means output resistance. And if I will expand this figure, then see, this is known as RI, and here AV V in, and here it can be considered as a output resistance RO. And here output resistance RL. So now V in, RI AV into V in is equal to V out. V out divided by V in equal to AV. So V0 equal to AV into V in. See this. So AV into V in, here R0 means what? It can be considered as a output resistance. It can be considered as a output resistance RO. So which is known as equivalent circuit of op-amp, which is known as op-amp equivalent circuit. V in RI AV into V in RO. So what is the value of input resistance? What is the value of input resistance? First parameter of op-amp. Inside op-amp, question asked like that. Op-amp equivalent circuit, op-amp parameter, explain. Question asked like that, op-amp parameter explain with equivalent circuit. At that time you have to explain this all parameter or individually explain that input resistance explain, output resistance explain, equivalent circuit, out of which we have discussed here op-amp equivalent circuit. We have discussed here op-amp equivalent circuit. Op-amp equivalent circuit. So here we can say first parameter of op-amp input resistance. First parameter of op-amp input resistance. Inside op-amp, one of the block is present, which is known as dual input balance output differential amplifier. And always for this differential amplifier, always for this differential amplifier, input resistance is always high, So low amount of current flow. That parameter you have to explain for this particular parameter. Ideally, input resistance is infinite. Ideally, input resistance is infinite. See this. And practically for 741 IC, it is 1 mega ohm. Practically for 741 IC, it is 1 mega ohm. It is the input resistance of operational amplifier. Input resistance of op-amp. This is the first parameter. Now, second parameter, which is known as output resistance. Second parameter, which is known as output resistance. Output resistance of op-amp is very low. Output resistance of op-amp very low. Practically, it is 75 ohm and ideally it is 0. Ideally it is 0. So due to output resistance is low, there are more number of devices connected with op-amp. Why? Because if you can consider any type of any type of particular load, say LED, loudspeaker, it contains the small resistance value. At that time, large amount of power that can be required to transfer, and according to maximum power transfer condition, according to maximum power transfer theorem, there are the huge amount of power that can be transferred if and only if output resistance output resistance of op-amp and load resistance power that can be matched with each other. It is the condition of output resistance of operational amplifier. So in next lecture I will discuss the another parameter. Total 3 parameter we have discussed here: op-amp equivalent circuit, input resistance and output resistance. So that we have discussed here in this particular lecture. In the next lecture we will discuss the another, which is most important parameter of operational amplifier. So it is considered as a part 1 of op-amp parameter. Thank you.